Okay, let's unpack this. In a world where generative AI seems, well, dominated by just a handful of really well-known giants, what if there's a relatively new player
Hmm,
from a different continent, no less, and they're quietly but, powerfully rewriting the rules?
right.
What if their entire approach challenges the very foundations of how AI models get built, how they're shared, even how they're monetized?
What's truly fascinating here is Mistral AI,
Yeah.
exactly what you're describing. This is a company that really, in an exceptionally short period, has managed to establish itself as this critical third force in the whole generative AI landscape.
A third force, that's a strong term.
It is. And they're not just iterating on existing ideas.
Hmm.
They're fundamentally challenging the US-dominated market with this unique open core model that's really causing ripples globally.
That's right. So today we're taking a deep dive into Mistral AI. Our mission really is to explore their unique strategy, delve into their, frankly, groundbreaking technology, uncover the surprising partnerships that have propelled them forward, examine the pretty serious criticisms they face, and ultimately try to understand what their future could mean for, well, the entire AI ecosystem.
Yeah, there's a lot to get into.
Get ready for some aha moments, because I think there's a lot more to Mistral than meets the eye. So let's start at the beginning then. Mistral AI isn't just another startup that, caught a lucky break.
Not at all.
They've really exploded onto the scene. You mentioned that phrase, critical third force in generative AI. That's a bold claim, especially when you think about the established players, OpenAI, Google, Meta.
Huge players.
How significant is it really to have a European player challenging this U.S. market dominance so directly? What are the implications here?
Oh, it's highly significant.
Yeah.
And not just technologically, but geopolitically, economically, too. I mean, for decades, the tech industry, particularly the really cutting-edge stuff, has been largely dominated by Silicon Valley,
Right.
with China, steadily growing its own formidable presence. Mistral AI, coming out of Paris, represents a genuine and powerful disruption to that kind of duopoly.
Mm.
Their rapid ascent, hitting that multi-billion-dollar valuation in, well, almost no time.
Mm.
It just emphasizes that an alternative path, one rooted in a different philosophy, isn't just viable, it's actually thriving.
Yeah.
It signals a shift. It shows that, hey, frontier AI innovation isn't exclusive to the US or Asia, and it introduces this whole new dynamic for global competition, for investment, for strategic alliances in what is arguably the most critical tech space of our time.
Definitely.
It really forces everyone, all the big players, to kind of reevaluate their strategies.
That speed is just incredible. How on earth did they manage that so fast? I mean, this rapid ascent must have started with its founders. Tell us about the minds behind Mistral AI. What specifically drove them to do this, to leave these established giants?
Okay, so Mistral AI was founded in Paris, April 2023, not that long ago,
Really recent.
by three French researchers, Arthur Mensch, Guillaume Lample, and Timothy Lacroix. And what makes their origin story so compelling is their backgrounds. We're talking elite academic credentials, institutions like École Polytechnique,
Uh-huh.
combined with really formative tenures at the world's leading AI labs. Arthur Mensch, he's a veteran of Google DeepMind,
Right.
while Lample and Lacroix were key researchers over at Meta AI.
So they knew the inside track.
Exactly. This isn't just a list of impressive names. It means they had intimate, firsthand knowledge of large language model, LLM architecture, the scaling laws, all the complex challenges involved in actually building these frontier AI systems.
Mm-hmm.
And their decision to leave these huge companies wasn't just opportunistic, looking for the next big thing.
No.
It seems it was a deliberate reaction to what they saw as this increasing closure of frontier AI research, a shift away from that sort of academic-style openness that really characterized early LLM development.
Like OpenAI becoming less open.
Precisely. Companies like OpenAI, for instance, had started moving much more towards black box, proprietary models. So the CEO, Arthur Mensch, he explicitly aimed to push the field back towards more openness and information sharing.
Mm.
His aspiration was to recreate that collaborative, almost academic environment, but within a commercial framework.
That's a bold claim, especially in today's AI landscape. How exactly do they plan to push the field back towards more openness when, like you said, the giants are mostly going the other way?
Well, their official mission statement is to make frontier AI accessible to everyone. That's a direct challenge to the opaque, black box nature of big AI.
Okay, but how does that translate into strategy? How is this democratization idea woven into the fabric of the company?
It's absolutely foundational. It's a core pillar of their identity and their strategy. Their corporate philosophy is built on three key principles:
Mm,
compute efficiency, helpfulness, and trustworthiness.
right.
And the primary vehicle for achieving that mission, for accessibility, is their unwavering commitment to open source and open weight models. They often release these with highly permissive licenses, like Apache 2.0.
So anyone can use them, modify them?
Pretty much. And this isn't just a marketing slogan or some goodwill gesture. It's a strategic move. It's designed to lower the barrier to entry for developers, for researchers, for smaller companies. It fosters this broad, vibrant ecosystem of innovation around their technology.
Okay, but why is this democratization so crucial for them? Why make that the cornerstone?
That's a really important question. Mensch himself has argued quite forcefully about this. He believes open models are, quote, inherently safer due to community scrutiny.
Safer. How so?
The idea is, if many eyes are looking at the code, at the weights, vulnerabilities or biases are more likely to be found and fixed by the community. He also argues they're essential for preventing a dangerous global monopoly on AI.
A global monopoly.
Yeah, which he views as a potential threat to democracy itself. His point is, by allowing anyone to inspect, use, and modify these models, it mitigates the risk of just a few powerful entities controlling the future of this, well, incredibly transformative technology.
A potential threat to democracy. Wow, that really elevates their mission beyond just tech, doesn't
It
it?
absolutely does. It becomes something much broader.
And this mission, combined with their European origins, seems to have created this very deliberate European champion narrative around them. What advantages does that specific positioning offer Mistral AI in the global market, especially against those huge US and Chinese giants?
No, it's a brilliant strategic maneuver.
Mm.
Positioning themselves as a European champion with a global vocation.
Mhm.
Think about it. In a landscape so heavily dominated by U.S. firms and increasingly Chinese ones too,
Right.
Mistral offers a compelling alternative, particularly for enterprises who are really concerned about data sovereignty and regulatory alignment.
GDPR, the EU AI Act, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Exactly. Their French origins mean they have this privacy-first approach baked in. It's inherently compliant with GDPR, and it's designed with the emerging EU AI Act in mind. That is a massive advantage in Europe.
I can see that. Many companies here are hesitant about US cloud providers.
Understandably so. Concerns over transatlantic data flows, data governance, it's a real issue. So this positioning has attracted significant adoption, especially in highly regulated industries. And it's no surprise that French President Emmanuel Macron has publicly praised them, called them an example of French genius, a key part of his vision for European technological sovereignty.
That's quite an endorsement.
It is. And that kind of political backing only reinforces their brand as this trusted, continent-aligned AI partner. It's a major, major differentiator in the global market.
That makes a lot of sense, especially with the strict data rules and that whole push for digital sovereignty in Europe. So, okay, strong vision, expert team, really smart strategic positioning. It's perhaps no surprise they've seen such a meteoric financial ascent. Just how quickly have they grown in terms of valuation, funding? Those numbers must be pretty staggering for such a young company.
Oh, staggering is the right word. Their ascent has been nothing short of breathtaking. So June 2023, remember they were founded in April. Just weeks later,
Yeah.
they secured a 105 million seed round. At the time, that was the largest seed round in European history.
Wow, okay.
Then their valuation soared to $2 billion by December 2023, and then an estimated $5.8 billion by June 2024, following this massive 600 million funding round led by General Catalyst.
5.8 billion euros in just over a year.
Exactly. It's almost unheard of in the tech world. This rapid scaling has firmly established Mistral AI as one of the most valuable AI companies globally and undeniably the undisputed leader outside of the San Francisco Bay Area.
Yeah.
It just signals immense investor confidence, not just in their tech, but in their unique business model, their strategic market positioning. They clearly believe Mistral is onto something big.
Those numbers are truly mind-boggling. But okay, behind all that investment, there has to be some serious engineering, right? What kind of innovations are they actually bringing to the table that's catching the eye of these big investors? Because, I mean, this kind of valuation doesn't just come from a good story. It's got to be backed by some serious innovation under the hood.
Exactly, and that's where Mistral really shines. Their competitive strategy is fundamentally enabled by their innovative approach to model architecture. They focus on what they term capital efficiency,
Capital efficiency, meaning?
basically delivering superior performance to cost ratios. It really challenges the traditional bigger is better paradigm that has, historically dominated LLM development.
Right, just throw more compute at it.
Pretty much. They found ways to kind of alter the scaling laws, which typically dictate you need exponentially more compute for just linear performance gains. Instead, they're getting more computational bang for their buck through these ingenious innovations like mixture of experts, or MOE,
Right.
grouped query attention, GQA, and sliding window attention, SW. These aren't just technical buzzwords, right? They are direct embodiments of this philosophy, doing more with less, but doing it exceptionally well.
That's a crucial distinction. It's not about brute force scale, it's about smart, efficient design.
Mm,
And their first major statement on this was Mistral 7B, right? Released back in September 2023.
that's the one.
What made that inaugural model so significant in terms of efficiency? And what were the specific architectural innovations that allowed it to, well, punch so far above its weight?
Mistral 7B was really a clear declaration of their architectural philosophy to the world. It's a 7.3 billion parameter model released under that permissive Apache 2.0 license.
Mm-hmm.
And it was engineered from the ground up to be small, fast, and incredibly efficient. Its primary achievement was, frankly, quite remarkable.
Which was?
It consistently outperformed the much larger Llama 213B model, which had nearly double the parameters, remember, across all standard benchmarks.
Wow.
This clearly demonstrated that superior architecture could overcome a raw parameter deficit. And this was largely due to two key innovations you mentioned: grouped query attention and sliding window attention.
Okay, let's dive into those two, because this is where the aha moments really start for me. First, grouped query attention, GQA. How does that help make models faster and more efficient, especially during inference when it's actually generating text?
Great question. So traditional multi-head attention mechanisms, which are common in transformer architectures, they require a unique key and value vector for each individual attention head.
Okay.
This can quickly become a bottleneck, especially for memory and bandwidth, particularly during inference. GQA offers this clever compromise instead of each query head having its own key and value.
Yeah.
Multiple query heads share a single key and value vector within a group. Think of it like a carpool lane for data processing.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Different requests can effectively share the same ride, saving time and space.
Yeah.
This significantly reduces the memory bandwidth required during decoding. And the result? Much faster inference speeds and higher throughput.
Which is critical for...
Real-time applications. Things like chatbots, rapid content generation, anywhere every millisecond counts.
So it's like a smart way to reuse resources, making it faster and lighter on memory.
Okay.
And the second innovation, sliding window attention, or SWA, that sounds like it addresses another big challenge, the quadratic complexity of standard attention. Can you break that down for us?
Absolutely. Standard attention mechanisms, right, where every token in a sequence attends to every other token. The computational cost scales quadratically with the sequence length.
Meaning longer text gets exponentially more expensive to process.
Exactly. Processing very long texts, like entire documents or long conversations, becomes incredibly expensive very quickly. OAY addresses this by restricting each token's attention to just a fixed size window of preceding tokens, say 4,096 tokens, for example.
But doesn't that limit how much context it can see?
That's the clever part. It might sound limiting, but because these transformer layers are stacked one on top of another, it creates this cascading effect. A token at a higher layer can indirectly access information from tokens far beyond its immediate attention window. Why? Because the tokens within its window have already attended to their own preceding windows.
Ah, like a chain reaction.
Precisely. It's like building this long chain of information where each link only sees a few neighbors, but together they can span a vast distance. This allows the model to build a large, effective, receptive field, understanding long-range dependencies while maintaining a linear computational cost. Much more efficient.
That's incredibly clever. So they found a way to see broadly without looking at everything every single time, saving a ton of computational power.
And they optimized it further, implementing things like rotating buffers for the attention cache, saving significant memory during inference without really compromising the model quality.
This efficiency was remarkable, truly. But then Mistral took it a step further, didn't they? With their expert approach, introducing the Mixtral series in December 2023 using sparse mixture of experts, or SMOE. How is this a paradigm shift in balancing model size and computational cost?
Mixtral 8x7B, yeah, that truly was a paradigm shift. It introduced the SMOE architecture to the open weight community, And it demonstrated this novel, highly effective way to balance sheer model size with computational cost. It really felt like they cracked a code.
Cracked a code on how to get big model benefits without the big model costs.
Pretty much, yeah. How to get the benefits of a massive model without the corresponding, often debilitating expense.
So how does SMOE actually work? It sounds complex, but the idea of experts is intriguing. Are we talking about like different specialized AI brains all working together?
That's a great analogy.
Oh.
Imagine, instead of one single, massive generalist brain trying to be brilliant at absolutely everything,
Which is expensive.
very expensive.
Yeah.
Instead, you have this panel of specialists. In SMOE, the standard feed-forward networks you find in each transformer layer are replaced with a set of multiple expert networks.
Okay.
Then, for each token being processed, each word, each piece of data, a small trainable router network dynamically selects a sparse combination of these experts.
It chooses which experts are best for that specific token.
Exactly. In Mixtra's case, it typically selects 2 out of the 8 available experts to process that specific token. And the profound efficiency comes from this. The model benefits from the knowledge stored in a large number of total parameters.
Mhm.
Mixtral 8x7b has 46.7 billion parameters in total, giving it this huge knowledge base.
Right.
But the actual computational cost during inference is only proportional to the small number of active parameters used for each token, which for Mixtral is just 12.9 billion.
So you get the intelligence, the knowledge of a 47 billion parameter model, but you only pay the compute price for a 13 billion parameter one at each step.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic way to get the best of both worlds. Vast knowledge base, much lower processing overhead.
And how did this translate into real-world performance? How did Mixtral 8x7b actually stack up against the established models like GPT 3.5 or Llama 2?
The performance results were incredibly compelling and honestly kind of shocking to the industry at the time. Mixtral 8x7b matched or in some cases even exceeded OpenAI's GPT 3.5.
Wow.
And it soundly surpassed Meta's much larger Llama 2 70B model on most standard benchmarks.
Hmm.
This was particularly evident in complex areas, mathematics, code generation, multilingual tasks.
And the speed.
That was the other kicker. It offered up to 6 times faster inference than the Llama 2 70B model, so it could process requests far more quickly while maintaining that high performance.
Okay.
This just solidified Mistral's position as a leader in performance per watt. It proved their capital efficiency philosophy wasn't just theoretical, it delivered tangible market-disrupting results.
So they mastered efficiency and this expertise idea for open models, but they can't just give everything away, right?
Yeah.
How do they actually make money? How do they monetize their most advanced research? This must bring us to their commercial frontier, the proprietary and specialized models.
Exactly. This is where their open core strategy truly comes into play. Mistral has developed this portfolio of proprietary premier models specifically for its commercial offerings.
Mhm.
It's a very smart tiered approach. It allows them to monetize their most advanced research while their open models are out there building this massive community and driving broad adoption. It's a strategic separation of their intellectual property, essentially.
Okay, let's talk about their flagship then, a Mistral Large. Where does that fit in the competitive landscape? Is it aiming for the top spot?
Mistral Large, specifically version 2.1, which arrived in November 2024, is their flagship proprietary model. It's a high-density model, 123 billion parameters, explicitly designed for top-tier reasoning capabilities.
Okay.
At its release, it was benchmarked as the world's second-ranked model generally available via API. It was trailing only OpenAI's GPT-4 at that point.
Second only to GPT-4. That's impressive.
Very. And it boasts native fluency in 5 key European languages: English, French, German, Spanish, Italian. Plus, it has this massive context window, 128,000 tokens.
Yeah.
That makes it incredibly capable for complex enterprise applications, document analysis, sophisticated conversational agents, that sort of thing.
And then they've got Codestrol, which sounds like it's taking that specialization idea even further into a really specific high-value domain coding.
Correct. Codestrol, released January 2025, is a whole family of models explicitly specialized for code-related tasks. The latest version, Codestrol 25.01, is a 22 billion parameter model. It's trained on over 80 programming languages.
80 language.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it achieves state-of-the-art performance on benchmarks for code completion and also fill in the middle, or RDevM tasks.
Still in the middle.
Yeah, that's where the model needs to intelligently complete code snippets that are inserted within a larger block of code. It's a really common developer workflow.
Ah, okay.
Codestrol also features this enormous 256,000 token context window, allowing it to understand and generate code across vast repositories.
But the license is different for this one, right? Non-production.
That's right. It's released under a Mistral non-production license, which prohibits commercial use. This suggests a strategy, perhaps, to gather developer feedback, show off its capabilities without immediate commoditization, maybe preparing for a future commercial version, or just refining the tech based on usage.
Interesting. A way to generate buzz and gather data without giving away the farm, so to speak.
Exactly. It's a smart way to do it.
And it's clear they're not stopping at text or code. They seem to be rapidly diversifying into multimodal and other specialized areas too. This move away from one model fits all seems very deliberate.
Yes, absolutely. They're quickly moving beyond text. We're seeing Pixtral for vision and optical character recognition, OCR, Voxtral for audio understanding and transcription, and Mathstral for advanced STEM reasoning. This strategic move away from a one-model-fits-all approach,
Right.
it's likely a more capital-efficient way to achieve state-of-the-art performance in these high-value verticals.
Rather than building one giant model that's okay at everything.
Exactly. Instead of trying to make one gigantic model brilliant at absolutely everything, they're building this suite of specialized experts that can be incredibly good at specific complex tasks. This allows them to allocate compute resources and training data much more effectively.
So if we kind of look at a snapshot of their key model offerings, you see this incredible evolution. You start with Mistral 7B, right? Efficient, open weight base model disrupting the mid-tier.
Mm-hmm.
Then Mixtral 8x7B offering high throughput, cost-effective reasoning nearly at GPT 3.5 levels.
Yeah, really strong performance for the cost.
Then you shift to their proprietary side. Mistral Large for those frontier-level enterprise tasks. Codegestral as a state-of-the-art code specialist. And then these multimodal ventures like Pixtral for vision, Voxtral for audio. It's a very comprehensive and clearly very strategic lineup, designed to cover different market segments effectively.
And what's truly fascinating is how each model seems precisely designed to fulfill a specific strategic role, whether that's building a massive developer community, serving high-value enterprise clients with very specific needs, or exploring new modalities like vision and audio, all while adhering to that core philosophy of capital efficiency.
Yeah.
This ingenious blend of open and closed models is absolutely at the heart of their business strategy. And it's a brilliant kind of judo move against the much larger giants.
So let's talk more about that business strategy because it really is unique. You called it an open core gambit. How does this sophisticated hybrid model actually work? What's the thinking behind strategically releasing these powerful open weight models while also monetizing their most advanced proprietary ones? It seems like they're giving away quite a lot for free.
It's an incredibly sophisticated hybrid model, and yes, it's highly disruptive. Mistral's strategy involves strategically releasing powerful open-weight models to basically rapidly build a vast developer ecosystem,
Okay.
and in doing so, effectively commoditize the mid-tier AI market, make good AI cheap or free.
Right.
Simultaneously, though, they monetize their most advanced proprietary models and offer these enterprise-grade services. This dual-pronged approach is essentially a play to reshape the entire AI market from the ground up.
Okay, let's break down that first part. Using open weight models as a community engine. What's the purpose of offering models like Mistral 7B and Mixtral 8x7B under such permissive licenses like Apache 2.0, allowing unrestricted research, even commercial use? It almost seems counterintuitive for a for-profit company.
Well, these open-weight models serve multiple strategic purposes. Firstly, by being highly capable, often benchmarking at or above the level of mid-tier proprietary models like GPT 3.5.
Yeah.
They rapidly build this massive global developer community. And this community then enthusiastically experiments, fine-tunes, builds applications on Mistral's architecture. This creates powerful network effects.
People get used to their way of doing things.
Exactly. It establishes Mistral as a foundational layer of the AI stack. Developers become familiar with, maybe even loyal to, Mistral's approach. Secondly, and perhaps more disruptively, this directly attacks the business models of competitors. It commoditizes that good enough tier of AI because enterprises and developers can now self-host a comparable Mistral model for only the cost of compute power. This fundamentally alters the market's price-performance curve. It forces everyone considering a proprietary API for basic or mid-level tasks to really reevaluate the value proposition.
That's a huge shift in the market dynamics. They're effectively forcing competitors to lower their prices for comparable services, or at least justify them much more strongly.
Precisely.
But then, okay, how do they actually make money If they're giving away so much valuable tech, this must be where their proprietary models and services come in for monetization.
Exactly right. Mistral reserves its most powerful frontier models like Mistral Large and its highly specialized enterprise solutions for its commercial offerings. Monetization primarily happens through two channels, the platform, which is their API service,
Okay.
and LeChat, their conversational assistant. This is offered in tiered plans, including a pretty comprehensive enterprise version.
And Lashat Enterprise is tailored for businesses.
Yes, specifically designed for corporate needs. It emphasizes things like privacy, custom data connectors, agent builders, and crucially, flexible deployment options, including on-premises and private cloud.
Which is vital for those regulated industries you mentioned.
Absolutely critical for regulated industries concerned about data sovereignty, security, and just maintaining strict control over their sensitive information. This is how they capture the high-value, high-margin customers who need those guarantees.
Okay, but this strategy, building these huge models, reaching global enterprises, it needs massive resources, right? And global reach. Which brings us to a really pivotal alliance, their partnership with Microsoft, announced back in February 2024. How has this symbiotic relationship become such a cornerstone of Mistral's strategy to compete on a global scale?
Oh, this multi-year partnership with Microsoft is incredibly significant for Mistral AI. It's crucial for them to compete effectively at a global scale. And it's truly symbiotic. It offers critical advantages to both sides. It was a masterful chess move in the whole AI arena.
Let's look at it from Mistral AI's perspective first. What are the key advantages they gain from this relationship, especially when, they're up against trillion-dollar incumbents?
For Mistral, the advantages are just enormous. Firstly, it grants them immediate access to Microsoft's world-class Azure AI supercomputing infrastructure.
Which solves the compute cost problem.
Completely solves the immense capital expenditure challenge of securing the computational resources needed to train and serve these huge frontier models. Training these models can cost hundreds of millions, maybe even billions of dollars. That's a cost a young startup just couldn't bear alone.
Right.
Secondly, and just as crucial, it provides an immediate global distribution channel. Mistral's premium models are available right there through Azure AI Studio's Models as a Service or GodMOS catalog.
So instantly in front of Microsoft's customer.
Exactly, placing them directly in front of Microsoft's vast enterprise customer base worldwide. This bypasses years and years of needing to build out their own global sales and marketing machine.
Okay, that makes perfect sense for Mistral. But what about for Microsoft? Why is Mistral AI such an attractive partner for them, especially given their deep, multi-billion-dollar existing relationship with OpenAI?
Well, for Microsoft, this collaboration serves as a very important strategic hedge against that deep dependency on OpenAI.
Doesn't put all their eggs in one basket.
Precisely. By elevating Mistral as a first-class partner on Azure, Microsoft diversifies its AI portfolio. It offers its customers more choice.
Hmm.
And, maybe just as importantly, it allows Microsoft to present a more competitive, multi-vendor ecosystem to regulators.
Especially in Europe, perhaps.
Especially in Europe, yes.
Yeah.
Regulators there are keenly watching for potential monopolies in the AI space.
Mm-hmm.
So adding a leading European AI provider, one with strong GDPR compliance credentials, is a significant asset for Microsoft's enterprise offerings on the continent. It reinforces their commitment to European data regulations.
Yeah.
So if you connect this to the bigger picture, this partnership effectively lets Mistral bypass years and billions of dollars needed for global infrastructure, while enabling Microsoft to fortify its platform against both competitive and regulatory risks. It truly is a win-win, strategically speaking.
It sounds like a perfect match, really. A powerful engine for growth and market penetration for both. Now, with this foundational support and this key strategic alliance, let's explore their direct product offerings within this ecosystem, Lushat and La Platform.
Right. Mistral's commercial offerings are indeed delivered through these two primary products. Together, they form this comprehensive ecosystem designed to capture value from really diverse user segments, from individual developers all the way up to large global enterprises.
So Lushat is their direct-to-user conversational AI. How is it positioned as a European alternative, and what makes Lushat Enterprise particularly appealing to businesses that might already be using, say, ChatGPT or Claude?
So, LeChat is Mistral's direct-to-user conversational AI. It's strategically positioned as that European alternative to the popular models like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. It offers access to a range of Mistral's models, available through both free and paid tiers. The LeChat Enterprise version, though, that's a key part of their monetization strategy. It offers advanced features specifically designed for corporate needs. Things like enterprise search with secure connectors to platforms like Google Drive, SharePoint.
Ah, integrating with existing enterprise tools.
Exactly. It also includes no-code agent builders, custom model capabilities, and those crucial hybrid deployment options we talked about on-prem, private cloud guaranteeing data privacy and control. These are often non-negotiable for many large enterprises, especially in regulated industries. It's all about control, privacy, and customization for those clients.
And then there's La Platform. That sounds like it's geared more towards the developers, the people building on top of Mistral's models, giving them programmatic access.
Exactly right. La Platform is Mistral's developer-focused API platform. It provides programmatic access to their full suite of models, everything from the open weight offerings right up to their premier commercial models like Mistral Large.
So the building blocks for apps.
Precisely. It's designed to be the foundation upon which developers build their own AI-powered applications. It offers features like fine-tuning support, specialized endpoints for specific tasks like code generation or creating embeddings. Together, Le Chat and La Platform create this really robust ecosystem. It caters to both end users and the developer community, all while enabling Mistral to capture value across the AI application stack. It's a very complete strategy.
It certainly sounds comprehensive, but this robust ecosystem and strategy still raise that crucial question. How do they actually stack up against the Goliaths of AI, especially when those giants have, well, vastly more resources?
Well, Mistral AI operates in a fiercely competitive market. There's absolutely no doubt about it.
Yeah.
It is dominated by these well-entrenched, heavily funded players, OpenAI, Google, Meta, who can outspend almost anyone on the planet. Mistral's success, however, doesn't hinge on matching these rivals' sheer scale, in terms of raw compute or just parameter counts. Their strategy is more about strategically outmaneuvering them through that superior capital efficiency and highly targeted performance. They seem to pick their battles very carefully.
Okay, let's look at the numbers then. We can sort of segment the market into different performance tiers. First, those efficiency champions you mentioned, Mistral 7B and Mistral 8 by 7B. How did these open weight models truly compare to their counterparts at the time? And what did that performance really say about Mistral's architectural philosophy?
Okay, starting with Mistral 7B. It consistently outperformed Meta's Llama 213B across a wide range of reasoning comprehension STEM benchmarks, despite Llama 213B having nearly double the parameters.
Yeah, that really established the principle.
It truly established Mistral's core philosophy of efficiency, showing that smart architecture could genuinely beat brute force. Then, Mistral 8 by 7B took that even further. Leveraging its sparse mixture of experts architecture, it delivered performance that matched or even exceeded OpenAI's GPT 3.5. And it soundly surpassed the much larger Llama 2 70B model.
Especially in complex areas, you said.
Yes, especially in complex areas like mathematics and code generation. And critically, it offered up to 6 times faster inference speeds than Llama 2 70B,
6 times faster.
which means you could get comparable or even better results with significantly less computational cost and at a far greater speed. Huge deal.
That's a massive efficiency gain. Makes those models incredibly attractive for a lot of applications. Now, moving up to the frontier contenders. Mistral Large and their specialized models, how do they perform against the absolute top-tier competitors, like GPT-4, which many still consider the gold standard?
Right, so Mistral Large, at its release, was positioned as the world's second best model available via API, directly challenging the powerhouses like OpenAI's GPT-4 and Anthropic's Claude 3 Opus at that time.
Second best is still very, very good.
Absolutely. Now, granted, the leaderboard is incredibly dynamic. Newer models like Claude 3.5, Sonnet, GPT-4, they're constantly pushing the envelope. But Mistral Large remains a top-tier model for complex reasoning tasks. And it's particularly strong in European languages, thanks to that native multilingual fluency.
Okay. And CodeJoddle, the code specialist.
Cotra really demonstrated the power of that focused approach. It outperformed large general-purpose models like Codallama 70B and DeepSeek Coder V2 on things like repository-level code completion, other coding-specific evaluations. It really established itself as state-of-the-art for developers in that specific, very valuable domain. It shows that specialized models can truly excel, maybe even beat the generalists in their niche.
Okay, so what stands out to you from these benchmarks when we look across the top contenders? We're seeing some NA entries for Mistral on certain benchmarks in the data we have, but what's the implication of their strategy here? Are they really trying to win every single category, beat GPT-4o on everything, or is there a more nuanced game being played?
That's a great observation. What's fascinating here is that while, yes, Models like GPT-4o often lead in general-purpose benchmarks, maybe math, and Claude 3.5 Sonnet shows exceptional strength in, say, graduate-level reasoning. Mistral's strategy doesn't seem to be about winning every single category across the board.
Oh.
Their highly competitive profile seems focused on specific strengths. The NA entries often just mean scores weren't publicly reported for those specific model benchmark combinations, which is pretty common in this fast-moving field. But the overall picture suggests Mistral is choosing its battles very strategically.
Hmm.
They don't seem to be trying to build a generalist AGI that dominates every single metric. Instead, they're deploying models that offer compelling performance where it matters most for their target customers, often prioritizing efficiency and specialization over just raw, unconstrained intelligence across all possible domains. It feels like a much more pragmatic approach to a very, very expensive race.
That brings us to a crucial interpretation of their strategy then. It's not just about the raw benchmark scores, is it? It's about competing on a different axis altogether.
Exactly right. Mistral's not solely competing on raw intelligence scores, but on this combined axis of performance, efficiency, and accessibility. The ability for companies to self-host their open-weight models,
Like Mixtral.
like Mistral, yeah,
Mm.
delivering performance that's in the same league as many paid proprietary APIs.
Mm-hmm.
That is a powerful market differentiator. It forces a completely different value calculation for
And
enterprises.
so,
Well, suddenly the question becomes, is the marginal performance gain you might get from a top-tier proprietary model really worth the higher cost and the reduced flexibility
oh,
and the potential data privacy trade-offs compared to running a highly efficient, self-hostable Mistral model that you fully control?
right.
It's about optimizing for the enterprise's total cost of ownership and their need for control, not just chasing the absolute highest possible benchmark score at any cost.
Yeah.
They're effectively asking companies, what do you really need for this task? And what are you willing to pay for it in terms of money and control?
And this ties directly into the power of specialization we just discussed, moving away from that monolithic, do-everything AGI dream.
Indeed, the strong performance of models like Mistral really suggests this strategic pivot away from the incredibly costly pursuit of a single monolithic AGI-like model that tries to do everything for everyone and often ends up being mediocre at some things as a result.
Mm.
Instead, developing this portfolio of expert models allows Mistral to achieve state-of-the-art results in specific high-value verticals and do it in a more capital-efficient way. It's potentially a more defensible strategy long-term than trying to compete head-on with the general intelligence roadmaps of the giants. They can become indispensable in specific high-profit domains where precision and efficiency are absolutely paramount.
And this strategy, it isn't just theoretical, is it? It seems to be translating into real-world adoption with some pretty major names showing up on their client list.
Absolutely. Mistral AI's deliberate focus on efficiency, deployment flexibility, and that European data sovereignty angle.
Yeah.
It has undeniably led to significant enterprise adoption
Yeah.
across a really diverse range of industries.
Yeah.
Their customer list clearly shows they've gained a strong foothold in sectors that are highly regulated and very data sensitive, which frankly validates their core value proposition in the market incredibly well.
That's a critical point, highly regulated and data sensitive. Let's look at some specific examples of where they're making an impact. What about financial services, for instance? That's usually an extremely cautious sector.
Right. The financial sector is a prime example of their success. You have major players like BNP Paribas leveraging Mistral's models across their global markets, operations, sales, customer support. The global insurer AXA is using the technology for secure text generation and analysis for its massive employee base, over 140,000 people. And the fintech company Quanto employs it for enhancing customer support and fraud detection.
And the key for them is deployment flexibility.
Exactly. For these institutions, the ability to deploy models on-premise or within a private cloud is absolutely critical. It ensures they comply with strict financial regulations, data privacy laws like GDPR. It's not just about performance for them, it's fundamentally about compliance and control.
And what about in the technology and software sector itself? How are they being adopted by companies that often have their own significant AI initiatives underway?
Yeah, that's interesting too. We see major tech companies integrating Mistral's models right into their own platforms. Snowflake, for instance, enhances its Cortex Analyst tool with Mistral's capabilities.
Hmm.
IBM offers Mistral Large 2 on its Watson X.AI platform. SAP, the global software giant, is also a customer. And Cloudflare, a leading internet infrastructure company, makes Mistral's models available on its Workers AI platform.
Why are they choosing Mistral?
While the open and efficient nature of models like Mixtral makes them particularly attractive for developers and tech companies building their own AI-powered features and services. It gives them flexibility, cost savings, and control over the stack.
Makes sense. What about industries like transportation and logistics, where operational efficiency is absolutely key?
We see global shipping leader CGM has deployed an internal AI assistant called MAA. It's powered by Mistral AI, and it's designed to enhance the productivity of its 155,000 employees across 160 countries.
Wow, that's a huge deployment.
It really highlights the model's utility in large-scale operational and knowledge management tasks that span these vast global networks, helping employees quickly access information, automate routine tasks.
And the really sensitive areas like healthcare and life sciences, that sounds like a tough nut to crack for any new AI player, especially with privacy concerns.
It is tough, but they're making inroads. In healthcare, Mistral's models are being used by companies like Synapse Medicine. They provide evidence-based medical recommendations to over 300 hospitals, assisting medical professionals with critical decision-making.
Okay.
The pharmaceutical company Pierre Fabre is also using the technology to streamline its operations. For these applications, strict HIPAA compliance in the U.S. or equivalent regulations elsewhere, and the ability to maintain stringent control over sensitive patient data are paramount. Mistral's flexible deployment options and privacy-first approach are very appealing there. Trust is absolutely essential.
Finally, even the public sector and defense, that's a powerful testament to their security capabilities and, well, trustworthiness, isn't it?
Indeed, government and defense agencies are a key segment for them. France Travail, which is the French Public Employment Service, uses Mistral to empower job seekers through AI-powered data analysis, helping match skills with opportunities. Moreover, Mistral provides sovereign AI solutions for departments of defense. These offer things like air-gap security and comprehensive platform control for critical public safety operations. These sectors demand the absolute highest levels of security, reliability, and data control, which Mistral's solutions are clearly designed to provide. It positions them as a trusted partner for national security and public services, especially in Europe.
It's clear these companies aren't just, kicking the tires. They're integrating Mistral's tech into fundamental business processes. What are some of the common enterprise use cases that have emerged across these diverse industries? What's demonstrating Mistral's practical, bottom line business value?
Yeah, several core use cases really demonstrate their practical business value across that client base.
Hmm.
We definitely see intelligent customer support. Models automating query resolution, classifying support tickets, powering chatbots.
Reducing costs and response times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Significantly reducing response times and operational costs. Then there's AI-assisted software development. Supercharging engineering teams with intelligent code completion, automated documentation, advanced testing primarily through that specialized Costro model. In sales and marketing, they're used for generating personalized marketing copy, analyzing market trends, identifying high-value leads. For risk and compliance, a big one. Mistral models help automate content moderation, enforce internal governance policies, and deploy advanced fraud detection systems securely.
Right.
And a very powerful use case that keeps coming up is retrieval augmented generation, or RAG.
Explain that briefly.
That's where companies build these internal knowledge bases. The AI then searches and synthesizes information only from the company's own secure documents. This provides trustworthy, context-aware answers without making things up or hallucinating.
Hugely valuable for internal knowledge.
Hugely valuable. And this overall pattern of adoption strongly suggests that Mistral's success is driven by more than just raw model performance. It's the alignment of their technology, their business model, and these critical regulatory needs, especially in those highly regulated sectors, that's allowing them to capture this high-value market segment so effectively.
But even with this impressive traction, it's not all smooth sailing, is it? There are significant headwinds and criticisms Mistral has to navigate, and some of them are quite serious.
That's right. Despite their rapid progress and impressive market penetration, Mistral AI faces some significant criticisms and risks. These really challenge its strategic narrative and potentially its long-term viability. They center on two interconnected issues. First, the legitimacy of its open-source branding, and second, and perhaps more critically, some severe safety vulnerabilities that have come to light.
Okay, let's start with the open washing debate. Mistral AI has built its brand on openness, but this has drawn sharp criticism from some corners of the established open source community. What exactly are these accusations? What's the core of the argument?
Well, Mistral AI's brand commitment to openness has indeed drawn sharp criticism, particularly from established stewards of the open source community, like the Open Source Initiative, the OSI.
Mhm.
They've argued that certain licenses, including some used by Meta's llama models, which often get conflated in these discussions, don't qualify as true open source, according to their definition, due to specific restrictions on use or users.
All right.
Mr. Ledrell, despite releasing many models under very permissive licenses like Apache 2.0, faces these accusations of open washing. Why? Because its most powerful models like Mistral Large remain proprietary.
Right, the ones they charge for.
Exactly. And furthermore, specialized ones like Coachtrol have these non-commercial licenses, meaning you can use them for research, play around with them, but you can't use them for profit without a separate agreement.
So what's the criticism? That they're being misleading?
The critics suggest that Mistral leverages the positive branding and community engagement of open source, which people generally like and trust, to build its ecosystem while ultimately funneling commercial users towards its closed, monetized products. Now, the counterargument, often implied by Mistral and its supporters, is that this is just a pragmatic, necessary business model. For a for-profit company trying to survive and compete against trillion-dollar incumbents, you can't just give everything away.
Right.
Nevertheless, this ambiguity, this debate, it creates friction with parts of the developer community, and it can undermine the company's claims of being a purely open alternative compared to, say, fully closed models.
This debate about definitions and branding is important, definitely speaks to trust within the developer community. But you mentioned a second, more pressing issue, something potentially more damaging that came to light recently, alarming safety vulnerabilities in their models. This sounds extremely serious.
It is extremely serious, and yes, potentially very damaging. A more pressing issue is indeed the safety of Mistral's models. There was an investigative report in May 2025 by the security firm Encrypt AI, and it uncovered severe vulnerabilities, specifically in Mistral's Pixtral vision language models.
Pixtral, those are the ones that process images and text.
That's right, multimodal models.
And what exactly did this study reveal about their propensity to generate harmful content, particularly when compared to other leading models from OpenAI or Anthropic?
The findings were, frankly, alarming and quite stark. The study found that these Pixtral models were a staggering 60 times more likely to generate child sexual abuse material.
Is that
60 times, 50 times. And up to 40 times more likely to produce instructions for creating chemical, biological, radiological, or nuclear CBRN weapons when compared directly to leading competitors like OpenAI's GPT-4o and Anthropic's Claude 3.7 Sonnet.
That is a massive difference. Those are incredibly dangerous categories.
Extremely sensitive, dangerous categories. And the difference in likelihood reported is just huge.
So how successful were malicious prompts in actually eliciting this unsafe content? Were these just rare, isolated incidents, or was it a more systemic issue the researchers found?
According to the report, adversarial tests, these are tests specifically designed to mimic real-world malicious actors trying to provoke harmful responses. They succeeded in eliciting unsafe content from the Mistral models in 2/3 of all attempts.
2/3.
2/3. That indicates a significant and widespread lack of robust safety guardrails, rather than just being a few edge cases or glitches.
And what about bypassing existing safety filters? Were there any new methods identified that exploited the multimodal nature of Pixtral, the image and text capability?
Yes. The researchers demonstrated a highly effective attack vector using what they called typographic attacks.
Typographic attacks.
In this method, harmful text prompts are embedded directly into an image, making them visually part of the input image itself.
So the harmful instruction is in the picture, not just the text prompt.
Exactly. And the models then treated this visible text as a direct instruction, completely bypassing existing content filters that were likely designed to primarily detect harmful text prompts, not harmful text within images.
Wow. Okay. So what's the implication of this, especially for Mistral's open core model?
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting and fundamentally challenges that open core approach. While proprietary models, like those from OpenAI or Anthropic, enforce safety, typically at the API level, they control the inputs and outputs tightly.
Right.
Mistral's approach, particularly with its open-weight models that anyone can download and run, places the full responsibility for safety, moderation, and ethical alignment squarely on the end user or the developer deploying the model.
The user has to build their own guardrails.
Essentially, yes.
Right.
So when the base models themselves are found to be exceptionally vulnerable, as Pixtral was reported to be in this study, It effectively outsources immense ethical, legal, and societal risk to the community and to any enterprise considering deploying these models in production.
That's a huge burden to place on users.
It's a critical liability issue. The report authors attributed these failures to a lack of robust alignment, particularly in post-training safety tuning. They suggested that Mistral may have under-resourced or deprioritized the expensive and time-consuming process of safety alignment in their rapid race for performance and market share.
So speed over safety, potentially.
That's the implication raised by the report. Whether intentional or not, the outcome reported suggests safety wasn't as robust as in competitor models.
These are profound challenges. They raise really serious questions about responsibility, safety, and the trade-offs of openness. So how does Mistral plan to navigate these issues? How do they chart their future course, especially given these recent, very critical findings?
Well, looking forward, Mistral's future trajectory seems guided by this philosophy of pragmatic innovation, and it includes a clear public skepticism of the whole AGI narrative that often dominates the broader AI discourse, especially among some of its competitors.
Pragmatic innovation, that sounds quite deliberate. And different from some of their peers chasing artificial general intelligence. What's CEO Arthur Mensch's actual stance on pursuing AGI, and how does that shape Mistral's strategic direction?
Yeah, CEO Arthur Mensch has been very outspoken and actually quite dismissive of the pursuit of AGI. He's framed it as a pseudo-religious pipe dream, even akin to creating God.
Wow, strong words.
Very strong.
Yeah.
And he explicitly states that as a strong atheist, it's a goal he simply does not believe in. Now, beyond personal belief, this is also a shrewd strategic maneuver.
How so?
It allows Mistral to completely sidestep the incredibly capital-intensive, high-risk competition to build some kind of sentient machine, a
Yeah.
pursuit that's fraught with huge philosophical and engineering challenges.
Right. Focus on the achievable now.
Exactly. Instead, they can focus on more tangible, more immediately monetizable goals, creating powerful tools that augment human productivity and creativity. Mensch frames these large language models not as nascent minds, but more like a new programming language, one that's just more abstract and controllable by human language.
So tool building, not consciousness building.
Precisely. Their stated goal is to empower developers and knowledge workers, enable them to automate mundane tasks, focus on higher value activities like creative thinking, human relationship management, all within the next 3 to 5 years. It's a much more capital efficient and arguably more defensible market position than chasing the winner-take-all AGI dream.
That's a very grounded vision, definitely positions them as a tool maker rather than, well, God builder, as he put it. And this pragmatic vision presumably translates directly into their product development plans. What does their future product roadmap look like in the coming years?
Yeah, Mistral's future product development seems set to advance along several key vectors. Firstly, there's a clear expansion into multimodality. They've already signaled their intent to move beyond just text, right? With Pixel for vision, Voxtra for audio being the start. The future roadmap likely includes enhancing these capabilities to process video as well, creating more integrated, versatile AI solutions that can understand and interact with the world through various senses.
Okay, what else?
Secondly, a key priority appears to be the development of agentic AI.
Models that can do things.
Exactly. Evolving models from just passive generators into active agents that can perform actions. Building capabilities for models to use external tools, interact with APIs, enabling them to automate complex workflows like booking appointments, managing enterprise systems, acting as more capable, intelligent personal assistants.
And LeChat Enterprise is part of that?
The LeChat Enterprise platform, with its agent builders and custom connectors, seems absolutely foundational to that vision. It's the starting point for building these agentic capabilities.
Makes sense. Any other directions?
And finally, continued specialization. The success they've had with specialized models like Costrol and Mastral strongly indicates they'll continue developing these expert models tailored for high-value vertical markets. This strategy allows them to achieve state-of-the-art performance in specific domains without the immense cost of training one single, universally expert model.
Okay, so multimodality, agents, and more specialization sounds ambitious. But all these exciting developments still lead back to those questions about their long-term viability and strategic outlook. Can they sustain this pace? Especially with the enormous costs of training frontier models and, maybe more importantly now, in light of those serious safety criticisms.
That really is the central question, isn't it? Can Mistral continue to fund the immense cost of training frontier models based primarily on API revenue from a limited set of proprietary offerings? especially when its own powerful open-weight models are getting better and better and could potentially cannibalize its own commercial products.
It's a tricky balance.
It is. The partnership with Microsoft obviously provides a crucial lifeline. It mitigates the immediate financial burden of infrastructure costs, and their capital efficiency remains their most significant competitive advantage technologically.
Right. The safety issue.
But the severe safety issues highlighted in recent reports, particularly with Pixtral, represent a critical and, frankly, potentially existential threat. A major incident involving the misuse of one of its open models, especially given the reported ease with which harmful content could be generated, could trigger a significant regulatory backlash across Europe and beyond.
Mm.
And it could severely erode the enterprise trust that they've worked so incredibly hard to build.
Mm.
So therefore, Mistral's ability to mature its approach to AI safety and alignment, that will be just as important as its technical innovation in determining its ultimate success or failure.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real tightrope walk for them now.
Absolutely. Okay, so with all these insights, their innovative tech, their ambitious business model, their key strategic alliances, and these very serious challenges, what should different stakeholders really take away from Mistral's journey so far? What are the key recommendations? Hashtag tag tag 8, strategic analysis and recommendations.
Okay, let's break it down by stakeholder group. For enterprise adopters, the recommendation is really to adopt a hybrid portfolio strategy.
Hybrid portfolio, meaning use both open and closed models.
Exactly. Deploy Mistral's open-weight models, like Mistral 8x7b, for your on-premises or private cloud environments. This is ideal for sensitive data, or where data sovereignty and regulatory compliance to GDPR, for example, are absolutely paramount. It offers maximum control and a superior cost-performance ratio for those mid-tier complexity tasks.
Right.
But this comes with that critical caveat on safety we just discussed. Well, the freedom of open models brings with it the immense responsibility for ensuring safety and ethical alignment. The reported Pixtral vulnerabilities are a stark warning.
So what's the action enterprises must take?
Enterprises must not deploy Mistral's open models in public-facing or critical applications without first implementing a robust, independent safety, moderation, and guardrail layer. The responsibility for mitigating these risks rests entirely with the deploying organization. You can't just download Mistral and hook it up to your customer service chatbot without extensive safety work.
That's a crucial point. The responsibility shifts entirely to the user with open models. Okay, what about for developers? What's your advice for them as they look to build on these rapidly evolving models?
Developers should definitely view Mistral's open-weight models as a powerful and cost-effective foundation. They're great for building specialized and innovative AI applications. Mistral 8x7b's performance-to-cost ratio is currently pretty much unmatched for experimentation, for fine-tuning, for building custom solutions, where having control over the model stack is essential.
And is there an opportunity there too?
Yes, absolutely. There's a significant market opportunity, I think, in building value-added services and tools around the Mistral ecosystem. Think specialized, fine-tuned models for specific industries, sophisticated security and safety wrappers to address those inherent vulnerabilities we talked about.
Like building the guardrails enterprises need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And maybe even compliance as a service solutions that help enterprises mitigate the risks and meet regulatory requirements when using these open models. There's a whole ecosystem to be built there.
Makes sense. Okay, for investors, how should they evaluate Mistral AI in this incredibly dynamic, sometimes very speculative market? Is it just a risky bet on AGI, or should they see it as something else entirely?
Investors, I think, should evaluate Mistral AI not as a direct competitor in the speculative race for AGI, but more as a high-growth enterprise software company, one that's building essential infrastructure for the AI revolution. Its value lies in its capital-efficient model architecture, its strong and rapidly growing developer ecosystem, and its strategic beachhead in the European enterprise market. And CEO Arthur Mensch's pragmatic, non-AGI-centric vision actually provides a more grounded and potentially more achievable path to profitability than some competitors.
But what about the risks for investors, especially the safety issues?
Right. The most significant investment risks here are probably not technological, but reputational and regulatory. A high-profile security incident or a misuse incident involving one of their open models that could trigger a severe regulatory crackdown and drastically impact its valuation and market access.
So due diligence is key.
Absolutely critical. Thorough due diligence on Mistral's evolving safety roadmap, its transparency, and its response to third-party security audits like the Encrypt AI one. That is critical for any investor considering putting money into the company now.
Finally, for policymakers, especially in Europe, where Mistral is seen as the strategic asset, what actions are needed to support a company like Mistral AI while also mitigating these serious and, frankly, undeniable risks?
Yeah, it's a delicate balance for them. European policymakers should probably continue to view Mistral AI as a strategic asset for fostering technological sovereignty and ensuring a competitive, diverse AI market in Europe. That seems sensible.
Hmm.
However, this support should absolutely not come at the expense of safety. Policymakers should move, perhaps quite urgently, to mandate transparent, independent, third-party safety audits for all foundational models, not just Mistrals that are released or deployed within their jurisdictions.
Hmm.
And this should apply regardless of whether they are open or closed source.
Level the playing field on safety audits.
Exactly. There is also an urgent need, I believe,
Hmm.
to clarify the legal liability framework for harms caused by applications built on these open-weight foundation models.
Who is responsible when something goes wrong?
Precisely. The current ambiguity, where model creators often disclaim responsibility in their licenses, places an unsustainable burden on downstream developers and end users. Establishing clear lines of accountability is absolutely essential for creating a safe and trustworthy AI ecosystem for everyone in the long run. Hashtag TechTag outro bar.
Wow, what a deep dive. Mistral AI truly presents such a fascinating case study, doesn't it? A nimble European challenger carving out this really unique space in the global AI landscape by leveraging capital efficiency, architectural innovation, and this powerful, disruptive, open core model that's really shaking up the industry.
Indeed. Their story highlights this fundamental tension that sits right at the heart of AI development today.
Hmm.
It's the balance between rapid innovation, the spirit of openness, which everyone likes, versus the critical, non-negotiable imperative of safety, responsibility, and clear accountability.
Yeah.
It forces all of us really to think differently about how AI is built, how it's distributed, and ultimately how its inherent risks are managed, especially as these models become more powerful.
So, what does this all mean for you listening to this? As AI becomes more integral to our lives, our work, the freedom offered by open models, while incredibly empowering for innovation, it forces us to ask a crucial question, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Are we, as a society, as individual users, as enterprises, are we truly ready to own the full responsibility for the AI we deploy? Or do we continue to expect the creators, the Mistrals, the OpenAIs, the Metas, to bear that burden even for open models? What does truly responsible openness actually look like in this rapidly evolving world? And how do we ensure we get there?
A lot to think about.
Definitely something to ponder, for sure.
Huh?